You are currently watching the Stella Modeling User Guide video series. This is a series that is intended to be a companion to the Stella M User Guide. This is for the landing page and model settings, and this video will cover the Stella M landing page, managing the model list, and model settings. On your screen is the Stella M landing page. This is the page that you see as soon as you click on the Stella M tab. On the top left are the two buttons that you will see on every page of Stella M. The first one is a link to the System Modeling and Stella M glossary, which, by the way, you can also get to using the Stella and System Modeling page on the HUD Exchange. So when we click on it, this is what opens up. This glossary defines key terms used in Stella M and the System Modeling Toolkit resources, which again can be found on the Stella and System Modeling HUD Exchange page. There's also a Spanish version of this glossary on that page as well. So when we go back to Stella M, the other button that you will see on every page is the COC library button. This button allows users to create and view pathways and project types, and that will be covered in another video in the series. Then you'll see an introduction of Stella M, where you can find links to the Stella and System Modeling HUD Exchange page that we just spoke about, the Stella M GitHub, and the Ask a Question desk. Under that, you have your model list. Some reminders about this model list. This will show models that are created for the COCs that you have access to. That means that all users with access to the same models will see these models as well. So some things to point out are that this list could be empty if no one has yet created a model that you have access to, or there could be many models that have been created, which could result in a list with multiple pages. Above the model list on the left-hand side, you can choose how many models you want to see per page on your model list. Right now it's set to show 10 per page. On the bottom of the list on the right-hand side, these are the different pages that you have. Because this example profile only has access to these 3 models, it will only have the one page. And then we go back above the model list. On the right-hand side this time, there is the new model button. This button allows you to create a new model. And then underneath that is the search box, where you're able to search for any already existing models that you have access to. And then now onto the actual model list. So you have your COC ID, your COC name, your model name, which is also the hyperlink that you can click on to open that model. Year, which is the target year of that model. Then you have your last edited by and last edited date columns. These show which user last edited this particular model and when. Since all users that have access to the same models can edit all of those same models, these 2 columns can be really helpful for version control. And then you have your edit button, your copy button, and your delete button. We'll go over these buttons later in the video. Also helpful to note is that you are able to order any of the columns by using the up and down arrows within each column. Right now it is ordered by the target year, with the latest year being first. So now let's set up a new model by clicking this new model button. Now usually when you create a new model, this model settings pop up. All of this would be blank. This one's just filled out for the sake of the video. A few things we should note. Firstly, on the top right is an information button that can offer helpful information about creating a new model. Secondly, any field that has asterisks next to its name, those are required fields. So let's go on to the actual settings. First, you have to select the COC for the model you're creating. This is for users that have access to multiple COCs. And once you have selected the COC and saved this model, you will be unable to edit this at a later point. Then you have your model name. Make sure to pay attention to any naming conventions that your community may have implemented for model names in Stella M, as all users with access to the same model will see it. And also be aware that the name of your model has to be unique within your selected COC. So the field won't let you choose a name that has already been taken. You can then choose to add a description if you would like, it could be useful for other users if you have a description. For example, this test model is modeling only for veteran households within Demo City. Then you have to select the household type for this model. So it's either all households, adult only, adult child, or child only. This is another field that you cannot edit once the model has been created. So then once you have created or selected your household type, you can make further note of any target populations such as veterans or youth in this target group, if applicable, field. So because this model, again, is focusing only on veteran households, we're going to make note of that as well in this field. And then you have your geography field, which is an optional field that can be useful for either sub-COC regions, so maybe a city within a COC, like this one is, or a region that's larger than a COC, which could be like a statewide model. Then you have your model type, which can either be a single year or multi-year. Single year means your model is just modeling for your target year, and the target year is the end state that is envisioned for the homeless response system in the year designated, so in this case 2029. So now you just have your target year to fill out because it's a single year model. But if we do choose a multi-year, this would have multiple consecutive years in it, and it cannot be more than 5 consecutive years. So your model will model for those years from the starting year, which here is 2025, until the target year. The starting year is the calendar year of the first year of a multi-year model. There's also a baseline year, which represents the current state of the homeless response system. And then the target year, in this case 2029, that is the final year from your multi-year model, and again is the end state that is envisioned for the homelessness response system. Then clicking continue will create that model, and it will take you to that new model. As you can see, since it is new, a lot of it is blank, and how to build out this model will be covered in another video in the series. So now that we've gone over how to create a new model, let's go back to the landing page, and we can take a look at those 3 buttons on the right-hand side of the model list that we were talking about earlier. So we can see here that the model that we just created, the demo model multi-year, is now in our model list. So the first button is the edit button. The edit button is the one that looks like just like a pencil, and it will open the model settings pop-up window that we filled out earlier. Here we can see that now that it has been created, you're unable to change your COC or your household type. The other ones can be edited, but I do want to highlight that if you are able to change your model from a single year to a multi-year or vice versa, but there are some considerations that need to be made when you do this, and that will be covered in another video. Then we have your copy button. So we can click onto that. The copy button creates another model by copying an already existing one. So it's another way to make a model. Here, you're unable to change the household type, but you are able to change everything else. So this would be really useful if you're wanting to model something just slightly different from what an already existing model is doing. Also useful if you want to make edits, but you don't want to lose the info that's in the model that already exists, especially if other users are using that model. Also useful if you don't want to start from scratch. But when you click update on this, so let's say we are actually making a demo model single year. And when you click update on this, it will take you to that model again, and you're able to edit within the copy of this model. Now, if we had copied a model that already had information in it, it would have all of that information in there. All of this data would be filled out. So now let's go back to the landing page, and the last button is the delete button. This button will permanently delete this model, so you have to be really careful and make sure that it is okay with everybody that can access these models to delete the specific one, because someone might be working on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually delete the one that we just created, and then there's going to be a pop-up asking if you are sure, and if we're sure, we can just click delete. Thank you for watching this video. Again, this video is part of the Stella Modeling User Guide video series. Other videos in the series will cover different aspects of the site and how to use Stella M. On your screen is the URL for the Stella and System Modeling page on the Hot Exchange. That page will have more information and more resources for you, including the Stella M User Guide, which this series is a companion to. And if you have a question about Stella M, please always feel free to submit an AQ. The URL for that is on your screen as well. Again, thank you for watching.